All right. In the interest of brevity, let's get on to your performers this evening. This lady puts a mess in the Korg MS-20. Please give it up for Michal Ketner.
Thanks to Grandt, everybody. I'm excited to be here. This is my first time at Steady Sounds. This is a cool little shop. So I'm really excited to be here. I don't get out that much anymore. A little nervous. I just had a baby, so if anybody sees a baby around, just pick it up, leave it at the front counter, and I'll get it after the show. I don't know about you guys, but I tried to come out here and have a good time, so the baby was starting to cramp my style. A little bit. But I don't have any kids, but I'm at that age where people expect me to have kids. Like, women are always asking me, do you have any children? I tell them no. They ask me if I want any children, and I tell them no. And then they look at me and say, oh, you do, you want kids. You just don't know it. You want kids. And I just hate that, you know? Like, if I had a quarter for every time some woman told me I wanted to have kids, I could beat the shit out of some woman with a sack of quarters. But I don't have kids. But if I did, I probably would use that as an excuse for why I'm carrying around so much extra weight. You know, I try to have a good body image. I don't like being fat, so I've been trying to do something about it for a while. Diet and exercise is the right way to go. And I was doing pretty good for a while. Then I fell off the wagon. But now I'm back on the horse. And by horse, I mean heroin, because I heard that really cuts down on the appetite. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. But no, I don't have kids, but you know, I am married, and I love being married. I really do. It's great. My husband doesn't mind my weight. He loves it. And though I don't like it being heavy, I do love having big breasts. So it's a little bit of a trade-off, and I'm happy with it right now. A lot of people think that, you know, being buxom is all free drinks, but it has a downside, mainly gravity. There's only a few guys out here, but I'm going to tell you, if you were lucky enough to get lucky with me, when this bra comes off, your jaw is not the only thing that's going to be dropping. True. Another downside is whenever I go to the OBGYN and he does that manual breast exam, you know, the ladies, you're familiar with the manual exam. When he does it for me, it takes forever. It's like a blind man lost his cane and is desperately trying to feel his way out of a pillow factory. But like I said, I am married. I love being married. I think being married is the best thing you can possibly be if you find that person who's your perfect complement. The only thing is that person isn't always who you think it's going to be. Like, I thought my perfect complement might be somebody like, I don't know, Savion Glover, or maybe one of Bob Marley's sons. But it turns out my perfect complement is a bald, blue-eyed, middle-aged, white Southern apologist. Yeah, I was shocked to find that out myself. But it's true, we are soulmates, we're totally in love, we're completely in sync, and the only thing we ever fight about is the Civil War. And since we are in Richmond, I'm sure you understand that those are some very horrible, horrible fights. Most couples have makeup sex. Me and my husband have reconstruction sex. And that's the only time I ever want to hear any shit about the South rising again. I have to be honest. It's true. My husband actually, he told me that I'm the most sexually aggressive woman he's ever been with. And he's probably right, because if a man doesn't give me an orgasm, I just take it. That's how sexually aggressive I am. And I'm not ashamed of it, because, you know, there's this, maybe it's a myth, but there's this statistic out there that most women don't have orgasms. And I think that's sad, because I think any woman can have an orgasm, because sex is a game. Like, we call it foreplay because sex is a game. And all you have to do, ladies, is figure out which game your man is. Every guy's a different game. So if you have a guy who, whatever you do to him in bed, he does it back to you, that guy is the game Simon. Now, if you have a man who is very hesitant, very tentative, and then when he finally gets around to making his move, it's just wrong, it's just like, no. That guy's like Operation. Then you have certain men, and these are probably the best kind because these guys can be great in bed as long as you give them constant and consistent direction all throughout the sex act. That's all you have to do. Just the whole time from foreplay to end game, you just have to constantly encourage and instruct them with words like, I don't know, like rub it, lick it, twist it, now pinch it. Slap it, rub it, jiggle it, lick it, pinch it, twist it, tweak it. Those guys are like bop it. But yeah, I love being married, and another thing, I really like weddings a lot. Weddings make me really happy. I love going to weddings because it's such a wonderful event and a family affair. It's a big party and it's great. And I will go to any wedding, but I hate it when people tell me, well, we're not gonna have alcohol at our wedding reception because we're Christians. Because my response then is, then I don't think that I will be attending your wedding, because that doesn't sound very Christian to me. How can you say you're a Christian and not have alcohol at your wedding when the first miracle, it's in the Bible, the first miracle Jesus ever did was turning water into wine at a wedding? I try to tell those people, I understand God created heaven and earth, but Jesus Christ created the open bar. Don't block the blessing. What else do I like? I like weddings. I do a lot. I like movies too. Saw some great movies last year. One of my favorite movies from last year was the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling. You guys familiar with that film? Yep. I love that movie. I thought it was great. It was independent, it was silent, it was violent, the music was great, the cinematography was great. But then I saw this article on Yahoo where this woman had sued the movie theater because she said that from the trailers, she thought it was going to be more like that movie, The Fast and the Furious with Vin Diesel. And I was just flabbergasted. I was just thinking, wow, that is the first time I've ever heard of somebody suing a movie theater because the movie wasn't as shitty as they thought it was going to be. You know? I mean, sometimes, you take your chances. You see a trailer, or you hear about a movie, or you even hear the title of a movie, and you go to see it, and it's not what you think it's going to be. Like, I went to see that movie, like, last year, Cowboys and Aliens. I thought it was going to be a documentary about the Arizona Border Patrol. It wasn't, but I didn't sue anybody over it. You know? I didn't sue anybody over it. But I don't go out to movies that frequently, but I do like to read a lot. I was at Barnes & Noble a couple of weeks ago, actually, and there was a table and had a sign on it that said African American Interest. And I thought I should probably check this out because I could really learn something. I like to improve my mind, So I went over and I looked at all the books on the table, and I learned something very interesting that day. Apparently, I am not an African American because I didn't give a shit about anything that was on that table. I have no desire to read a book called Between My Thighs, an erotic urban tale. That is not on my summer reading list at all. My tastes run more towards like philosophy and religion. I do like to read about religion, but not those door-to-door religions. You probably know what the door-to-door religions are. I don't have a problem with people coming around and knocking on the door on a Saturday morning, even to spread the good news or whatever they're doing with their proselytizing. I just hate that it's always the same thing. Like, I always know what it's going to be, and I like a surprise every once in a while, But it's never a surprise. It's always either a Jehovah's Witness, a Mormon, or some kind of Christian, usually a Baptist, you know. But just once, I'd like to be sitting around on a Saturday morning, hear a knock on the door, you know, open the door and hear, "Greeting in the name of the one most high, Haile Selassie, Jah, Rastafari." To this gentleman, I say, "Come in. You know, we can hang out." I imagine that 20 minutes later, we would be dancing around my living room, doing the bunny hop, singing "One Love," you know. One Love, it's great. I love it, I do. I like it a lot. But I love music too, and that's why I'm so excited to be doing a show in a place like this, surrounded by, you know, great records, great music, you know. And my tastes are very eclectic, you know. I like independent radio, I like classic rock, I like classic hip hop, I like punk, I like funk, I like all kinds of stuff. I like some good country, you know. I can listen to anything. I can listen to anything except the black radio stations. I cannot bring myself to turn on like a commercial black radio station. It drives me crazy because when I turn it on, every song on the radio is about sex. They're all sex songs. There are no love songs anymore. And I blame R. Kelly. As I can see, you all know who R. Kelly is. Even if you don't want to, you know who R. Kelly is. And it is his fault, you know, because no matter what you're doing, if R. Kelly is there, he will make a sex song about it, no matter what you're engaged in. Like a couple of weeks ago, my husband noticed that my feet were dry. He said, "Dear, let me put some lotion on your feet. Your feet look a little dry." No problem. Put some lotion on my feet. Nothing sexy about this at all. There really wasn't. But I imagine if R. Kelly had been there, he would have been so inspired, you know? I can just imagine him in the corner singing, "The motion of your lotion's giving me erotic notions, baby, yeah. Your cocoa butter emulsifier is setting me on fire. I have no fear. Use the aloe vera." I really appreciate your time and attention. Thanks so much for coming out. I did not mention this before, but you know, one of the things I like to do is to see the positive side of things. So though there is obviously, as I told you, downsides to being big-breasted, I have tried to make a positive out of that. And to that end, I have developed a very specialized form of martial arts. I like to call it jujitsu. And so far, I perfected 2 moves. I'm a master at it. The first one is smothering a man to death, and then the second one is giving myself 2 black eyes as I run away from danger, because I don't like to fight. So just wanted to let y'all know that, and I have a t-shirt to prove it. I don't have a black belt, but I have this black t-shirt. If any of you are interested in proclaiming your mastery of jiu-jitsu, please see me after the show. I got some extra t-shirts. Thank you, guys.
Let's generate some more pink noise for Michal Ketner.